constitutional and national security issues involved, and unless the bill is fixed up, I will vote against it on final passage, and here is why. First of all, the national security issues have already been brought up. I am concerned that when we had the hearing on this bill, as far as the DNSSEC provisions were concerned, none of the 6 witnesses were able to address this issue. And I think that simply for that reason alone, this bill is not ready for prime time, because I don't think that we should be doing anything here that can potentially infringe upon national security, because international terrorists and crooks have now used the Internet as their primary means of communication. Now, I think the real problem is that the block and track issues, or block and redirect issues, that are contained in the manager's amendment is exactly what crooks are doing to bank customers. And if the bill with the amendment becomes law, the security system will not be able to tell the difference between sites that have been blocked by law and those that have been sabotaged by hackers. And indeed, it's hard to imagine crooks redirecting users that say, you are directed here because the site you asked for has violated copyright. And at the same time, that action has the opportunity to plant malware into the user's computer. And I can just see what people would think about us in not doing this right if the malware ends up showing in the computer and somebody's got to spend a lot of money or buy a new computer to fix the problem up. I'm also concerned about the First Amendment impact on this. The key provision of this bill gives copyright owners the power to stop online advertisers and credit card processors from doing business with the website merely by filing a unilateral notice that the site is dedicated to the theft of U.S. property, even though there's been no judicial determination of that fact. And the immunity provisions in this bill create an overwhelming incentive for advertisers and payment processors to comply with such a request immediately upon receipt. The Court has always treated such cutoffs from revenue from speech as a suppression of that speech. Then the silencing of expression in the absence of a judicial review is classic prior restraint prohibited by the First Amendment. And I have to give some credit to a law professor whom I rarely agree with, Lawrence Tribe, for making that observation, but I believe that Mr. Tribe has got it right now. Now, finally, I'm concerned about the effectiveness of this piece of legislation. And this is similar to the debates that we've had in the committee over the past decade in attempting to stop Indian tribes from shipping untaxed cigarettes around the country in order to evade state and federal taxes that are due and owing by the end user of these products, as well as attempting to deal with other issues. By attempting to use judicial process rather than going exclusively toward following the money until maybe it's too late, I think we may very well have passed an ineffective bill that really doesn't deal with the issue. The gentlewoman from California, Ms. Lundgren, has said we don't go after the Postal Service or UPS. Lofgren, I'm sorry. Yeah. You might hear something about the same from the gentleman from California, Mr. Lundgren. But we don't go after the Postal Service or UPS when something is illegally shipped through that means of transportation. I don't think we should treat the Internet differently. I'd hope that the Chair would reflect on these observations and maybe realize that a further fix-up is necessary and yield back.
Thank you, Mr. Sensenbrenner. The gentleman from